Tudor Trita with ARCHIBUS Solution Center in Romania.
Well, thank you for introducing ARCHIBUS, and I will take you into a journey into the world of software. It's a specific domain of software which addresses infrastructure and facilities management and environmental sustainability. Building green is a good thing, right? It's a reward by itself. But as soon as you start operating, it's brown clouds emerging all around. So in a way, our problem now is that we live in a very overpopulated world, and we still want to put something in place for tomorrow. So companies that adopt this responsibility, environmental responsibility, face a real challenge to be green and make profit in the same time. For the people who are in charge to implement these green policies, they have to cope with this dynamic and complexity of today's business environment. So they need to make wise decisions in order to be competitive. Let's face it, it's nice to be green, it's good to be green, but nobody lives at that company which is a that green company, right? So for that, people in charge with green policies, they have to collect data, they have to correlate data into meaningful information, they have to make wise decisions, communicate, implement, and then measure the impact. And because you can't manage what you don't track, here is where software comes into place, providing a tool that would keep them in control of this process. Now, there are some sources for information for a software system, and building automation system is one of the sources. And Mrs. Tudor speak about that. I will not get into details. Once again, we have benefit from being part of Romanian Green Building Council and start to work together on providing solutions on local market, and you will see the benefit in about 3 minutes. Another comfortable and very useful way to collect data for software solution are mobile devices, which are very convenient to collect data on field. And this type of technologies would provide a very accurate source of data and a very consistent flow of data into the system without any impact on a business. So the business goes on as usual, you get the data into the system. Having no data is bad, but having a lot of data might be even worse, unless you have a system that is able to sort the data, combine, correlate, analyze, and put some meaningful ideas in those data. Typically, for this type of data, an integrated infrastructure management system is the solution. Why that? Because for companies, being green is not just about buildings and energy. It's about their entire infrastructure portfolio. And that's much more than building and energy. It's about people, it's about business process, it's about money, after all. So this type of integrated system is very useful for decision makers because it correlates information from different domains of activity, such as, I don't know, property management, space management, maintenance, capital budgeting, project management, and asset management, and many, many more. This integration creates channels and information flows between business units and connects all managerial levels into a company. So it's a very valuable tool for good decisions throughout the entire life cycle of the infrastructure. Now, the people who has to work on environmental quality, they have access to all this infrastructure data. Now, they are able, using this data, to develop, to get approval and to implement the green strategies that they want to put into life. They will usually use on the data that already have specific modules, such as managing or monitoring regulatory compliance, managing waste, controlling emissions, maintain an accurate inventory of chemicals, or tracking or planning for certification projects. Let's jump in a plane and see the ground from above. The next system I want to talk to you, it's GIS. And when you jump in a plane and look down, you'll see what you see in the GIS system. GIS means Geographical Information System. Right. Now, imagine that inside your facilities, you keep a very sharp and very clear inventory of chemical materials. You can connect this to a GIS system, and you now are able to respond to critical questions. Where are those chemicals? Are they dangerous or not? How much? What should I do in case of an emergency? Now, good news I want to tell you is that such a system that allows companies as well as public authorities to prevent and respond in case the disaster strikes already exists and works in Dodge County, implemented by RPS BCC. And if you, I think you notice on the map some black dots. There are the location of the facilities or warehouses where chemicals are stored, and you can inquire the system, and you can find out what would be the exposed area in case of an emergency based on the quantity and type of materials that are stored in that specific facility. Now, this is a valuable information. You will know what people are in the emergency area, where should you put the main effort in order to contain the problem. Now, let's go back to building automation system and connect with infrastructure management system. Now, you'll say, not big deal after all. So I have something in the building, I have a software, why the heck should I spend money on that? I will tell you a story which is not from Romania. It's a story that has been kindly provided by Talison Technologies, ARCHIBUS business partners in the United States. And it's about how state of Missouri saves millions of dollars every year from energy bill using an integrated building automation system with ARCHIBUS infrastructure management system. Now, what the system, first of all, why they need such a system? Because in 2006, the energy bill almost doubled, reaching a peak of $71 million a year. Is that much? $71 million for energy? Is anybody spending that much in Romania? You? No? Nobody spends so much in Romania yet. Okay. All of Latina, maybe? Okay. So they start spending a lot of energy. So they implement this system that connects information from different sources, from property portfolio, space usage, headcount, maintenance, energy consumption, outside, inside temperature. What you see on the screen, the red line you see there, is the need for heat in the cold days. The blue line is the need for chill in warm days. And the blue stacks are the energy bill in that period of time. On bottom of that, better said, you will see other key parameters of how your infrastructure works, such as average price of energy per square foot in their case, or facility condition index, which is a report between maintenance costs and asset value. Now, it's good to know when something goes bad, but you'd like to know what. So they are able to assess every building from the energy point of view. The red line you see there is the ideal consumption based on the outside temperature. And the blue dots, how much you actually consume in terms of energy. Now, every time you see a big discrepancy between red line and blue dots, it means that something is going bad in the heating system in your building and you spend more energy than you need. So it's time to do something. But you know, a building is big, a lot of equipment, where is the problem? Now, the system checks and collects information from automation, building automation system every 15 minutes. Overnight, computers talk to computers and try to identify the problem. Next morning, you have, guess, a work order inside ARCHIBUS, and the craft person will go and fix the issue. That sounds like science fiction? Yes? Huh? No, no science fiction. Okay. The point is that Missouri saved so far about $4 million using this system. The rate of saving increased. And what's more interesting is that they were able to reduce with 20% energy consumption on a LEED Platinum certified building, which is pretty interesting. So coming back to where we started, it's not enough to build green, you have to keep it green as it goes.